Stay informed about the latest developments in cryptocurrency, politics, technology, and beyond with NewsSource Scrawlers edition covering the period from August 18, 2025, to August 25, 2025.
Hamas has started to release hostages while the ceasefire in Gaza remains in effect, and the United States is deploying approximately 200 troops to Israel to assist in supporting and overseeing the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. Trump has declared that the conflict in Gaza has concluded as he embarks on a significant peace mission to the Middle East, and Netanyahu is urging Israel to come together as the release of hostages from Gaza is anticipated. The U.S. ambassador has ridiculed a UK minister's assertion of having a key role in the Gaza agreement, describing it as delusional.
France, facing a crisis, has formed yet another new government in the midst of political upheaval. SCMP remarks that the era of major powers has ended, signaling a new century of humiliation for Europe. In the United States, the Congressional Budget Office reports that interest payments have surpassed $1 trillion, with the federal deficit reaching $1.8 trillion for fiscal year 2025.
North Korea introduces its most powerful nuclear strategic weapon with the capability to reach every part of the United States. China asserts that its newly developed naval laser surpasses the formidable U.S. Helios in defending against drones. Germany is set to permit its police force to shoot down drones. Trump envisions constructing a triumphal arch to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States. Johnson characterizes the proposed No Kings rally as an event that is both hate America and pro-Hamas. Hegseth reveals that Qatar will construct an Air Force facility at a U.S. base located in Idaho. 2 weeks prior, a new executive order from Trump ensures Qatar's security following an Israeli attack. In Taiwan, William Lai's commitment to help make America great again has sparked a debate within the country. Excessive screen exposure could impact young children's academic success, according to a study, while Denmark's prime minister announces plans to prohibit social media access for those under 15. New York City initiates legal action against social media firms, citing a youth mental health crisis. Additionally, California leads the way as the first state to gradually eliminate ultra-processed foods from school menus.
In the U.S., DDoS botnet Isuru blankets U.S. ISPs in record DDoS. Poland says cyber attacks on critical infrastructure rising, blames Russia. OpenAI bans suspected China-linked accounts for seeking surveillance proposals.
Australia's coal-dependent state has decided to abandon its previous plan to shut down power plants. Climate objectives are being undermined as data centers in the United States increasingly rely on coal, according to a BBC report. Renewable energy sources have surpassed coal, becoming the largest source of electricity globally. Furthermore, China has acknowledged that solar panel installations are causing irreversible alterations to desert ecosystems.
Salesforce has announced that it will not comply with the extortion demand following a breach involving 1 billion records. Google reports that hackers are targeting corporate executives with extortion emails. Imager has restricted access for UK users due to a warning from a regulator about a potential fine.
"16 days prior in South Korea, a fire at a government data center caused the shutdown of 647 systems, leading to service disruptions, with the potential permanent loss of 858 terabytes of government data following the incident at the South Korea data center." NBC is developing a Wordle game show, with Savannah Guthrie scheduled to host. In California, USA, Governor Newsom has signed a bill granting 800,000 Uber and Lyft drivers in California the right to unionize.
Anthropic and IBM have declared a strategic alliance. Qualcomm has acquired Arduino and introduced a new Arduino board that resembles the Raspberry Pi. OpenAI's agreements related to computing have surpassed $1 trillion, elevating its valuation to $500 billion, potentially positioning it as the most valuable startup globally. Sam Altman suggests that if certain jobs are eliminated, they might not have been genuine work in the first place, according to a U.S. Senate report indicating that nearly 100 million jobs could be displaced by AI and automation. Goldman's data chief claims that although AI has exhausted its current training data, there is still more potential data to be discovered. A study reveals that managers who utilize AI to compose emails are perceived as less sincere, caring, and self-assured.
Indonesia has temporarily halted TikTok's registration process due to issues with data sharing, according to the ministry. In the United States, Apple has prohibited an application that merely stored videos documenting abuses by ICE. A man from Florida has been taken into custody on federal charges, accused of intentionally igniting what escalated into the Palisades fire. The NY Post reports that the alleged arsonist shared anti-Trump messages and attributed the wildfires to climate change. Wall Street Journal comments as follows: insurers are using cancer patients as leverage. An Indian court has instructed doctors to improve their handwriting. Furthermore, the AirPods Pro 3 have received a repairability score of 0 in an iFixit teardown, indicating they are impossible to repair. A report indicates that environmental harm is threatening the European lifestyle. Alaska experiences severe flooding that sweeps away homes, and numerous individuals are rescued from the remnants of a typhoon, as a strong nor'easter impacts the east coast. Japan records an unprecedented number of heatstroke cases during its hottest summer on record.
Melania Trump mentions that certain children affected by the conflict in Ukraine have been reunited with their families following discussions with Putin. Recent studies suggest that it might be possible to prevent peanut allergies. A growing number of Americans perceive legal sports betting as detrimental to both society and the sports industry.
Amazon Prime Video initially removed guns from James Bond posters but later quietly took the artwork down following online criticism. YouTube's top star, Mr. Beast, is concerned that AI might affect millions of creators after the launch of Sora, and Bollywood stars, alarmed by AI, are involving Google in a battle for personality rights. Additionally, Tilly Norwood, a fully AI actor, has been criticized by the actors union SAG-AFTRA for devaluing human artistry. In Ireland, the Budget 2026 plans to make the basic income for artists scheme a permanent initiative.
Trump reiterates his claim about brokering a truce between India and Pakistan, stating he threatened to impose tariffs as high as 200%. Trump mentions he might caution Putin, suggesting the U.S. could consider providing Ukraine with Tomahawks unless Putin resolves the conflict. Zelensky previously commented that if Trump supplies them with Tomahawks, they would campaign for him to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Vladimir Putin has expressed that Donald Trump is deserving of the Nobel Prize, and there are instances where Gazans and Israelis have chanted Trump's name in support of a ceasefire, advocating for him to be awarded the Nobel Prize.
Trump declares a 100% tariff on China due to its rare earth controls, prompting Beijing to resist. For days prior, China broadens its rare earths limitations, focusing on users in the defense and semiconductor sectors. China imposes retaliatory port fees on U.S. ships ahead of trade negotiations. 6 months ago, the U.S. introduces fees for Chinese ships to encourage domestic shipbuilding. NBC reports that UPS is discarding packages destined for the U.S. because of customs paperwork issues.
In anticipation of conflict, Venezuelan President Maduro initiates the Christmas season prematurely for the second consecutive year, while the Colombian president alleges that the U.S. conducted an airstrike on a Colombian vessel near Venezuela. Venezuelan opposition figure Maria Corina Machado is awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, prompting Common Dreams to critique the award by stating that peace has no meaning when right-wingers like Maria Corina Machado win the Nobel Prize. Advocates report that Pope Leo intends to stand with Catholic leaders in safeguarding the rights of immigrants.
Biden is receiving radiation treatment for cancer, according to a spokesperson, while Trump is reported to be in exceptional health by the White House doctor. Jimmy Kimmel expressed his desire to have Trump appear on his show, stating, "I'll ask him." Additionally, The Verge has reported that Google is preventing AI-based searches related to Trump and dementia. Furthermore, The Wall Street Journal indicates that YouTube will pay $24.5 million to resolve a lawsuit initiated by Trump.
The Washington Post reveals that Arab nations increased their collaboration with the Israeli military during the conflict in Gaza, as indicated by documents. Israel and Hamas have reached an agreement on certain elements of Trump's proposed peace plan for Gaza, which includes the release of hostages and prisoners. The Israeli cabinet has given its approval to the initial phase of a ceasefire agreement with Hamas, facilitated by the United States. Trump has described this as a long and painful nightmare coming to an end, marking a historic moment for the Middle East. World leaders from the region are set to sign the peace plan, coinciding with the release of 20 Israeli hostages. However, Netanyahu's office has announced that he will not be attending the Gaza summit in Egypt.